It's a piece of shit. Hi folks, let's take a look at Banzai Tron. I bought him a while ago, and recently I've seen him going for decent prices on eBay. So I'm sure he's going to start selling a little more. And I think he's a good looking little bot. I bought him, basically because I thought he was a little different than some of the Alternity Seekers, which his mold is based on. I think he has a great color scheme. It's obviously a lot like his G1, even very much like his comic book depiction. If you haven't seen those, quickly Google some images. The color scheme here is fantastic. He's a cool looking little bot. I have mistransformed him, so I'll point out a couple things here. This is, like I said, a seeker bot. So this backpack would have been turned sideways to create wings. And also, these would technically be null rays, and you achieve that simply by swiveling them to the outside of the arm, and you get more of that seeker look. Like I said, I kind of want to make them look a little different, so that's why I do those mistransformations. But I think he looks really wicked. I think the color scheme is awesome. I think he looks fantastic. Let's go through a bit of the articulation. He has a ball joint on his head. Even though you don't get front and back very much, you do get a great 360 on it. You also have a ball joint on the shoulders, a swivel at the shoulder. You also actually have a swivel at the bicep. You have a hinge at the bicep. You have the guns who can swivel in and out. You have a ball joint at the hand. You do not have a waist. You do have a swivel at the hip and a ratchet. A very heavy ratchet. In fact, I remember the first time I transformed it, I thought I was going to break him. So you have that. You have a swivel at the thigh. You have a hinge at the knee. This part is locked in. You could pull it out and get a double hinge at the knee if you needed to. I don't see the purpose. You get a very loose hinge here at the ankle, and that's one of my mild concerns. It's quite loose, and if you have him out of balance, he will kind of just topple over. And then you get a nice tight ball joint on the foot so that you can get pivots and all kinds of things. And you have a little bit of toe articulation if you need it as well. But again, I just think he's a fantastic looking bot. I have him slightly mistransformed. Even these little guards here, I kind of flare out to make him look a little more samurai-ish, and there's that fall down action if you mess around. I have yet to find any swords that'll fit his hands, because I'd love to, give him a little more samurai look, but I will work on that, and I'm sure I'll find something. I do set up these pistols to look like he's holding them in his hand for now. His light piping's fantastic. His color scheme, like I said, is fantastic. I'm going to throw in a couple comparisons here, even though I've unlocked his. And this is one of my qualms, is this this waist comes unlocked occasionally. It's kind of weak. Also, the shoulders have a bit of a weak connection with these cover guards. But I think for the look and for the price right now, I don't think you're really going to miss out on a few bucks to pick this guy up. I think he's a really cool addition to a lot of people's collections. Let's take a look at some comparisons. Here we have another samurai. This is Movie Drift. You could see the one other little issue I have with this is he's a little bit bigger than Deluxe, but he's not quite a Voyager. So that's a bit annoying. And just just to give you another comparison, let's get a Voyager in here. Let's get Blitzwing in. Blitzwing with all his bad shoulders and everything. There's Blitzwing. And you can see what I mean. He's a little too small to go with Voyagers. He's a little too small for alternators. And he's a little too big for deluxes. Unless you want to consider him as a larger figure than deluxes, which I guess would work as well. So to transform this fellow, I like to pop up these shoulder connections, move the null rays to the inside, and bring the whole waist section down, and that's where you're gonna ratchet these legs forward. You push the chest section up, pull out the arms from the shoulder section here, and that's gonna rotate all this jazz forward. And once you do that, this top section will fold up as long as you've made the clearance that's necessary by getting those arms down. And we'll peg together up top. Can take a little work, but that's basically what you need to do. I'm going to close the doors, and we're going to fold up the hood, and the doors are going to come up. And this takes a little finagling. This is a ball joint that will pop. I will give anyone who could avoid popping that ball joint a pat on the back. More so when you're transforming to robot than to alt, but it will pop. You can bring the hood section down. These legs are on a slider that's pretty tight. You want to pull that slider out. Tight son of a gun for sure. So now that we've got that, you're basically going to collapse the legs into the vehicle. Slide them down, fold over, peg in. Let's close up toes. Close up those. So as you slide this down, you also want to push it in because that's on a slider. He does roll like a dream on rubber tires, which is nice, and he does have some die cast, which really makes him feel quality. But I think a big part of him not selling so well that he's going on sale right now is because there's mild issues with this mold and with this particular quality control. I'm going to show some examples of the packaging real quick just to get that out of the way, because this is the Alternity packaging we got for this. It is not the usual Alternity packaging, at least not from what I have purchased. You can see it's just full on cardboard. Let me show you another Alternity that I bought. This is a cliff jumper. You can see that it's in a clear plastic, which I think looks a lot nicer overall. So there's a bit of a difference there, and I think that's where some of my paint wear came on Banzaitron, was you could see there's this plastic shell that kind of holds them, and I think some of the rubbing happened in shipping. Just a couple quick comparisons as well. Here we have Lockdown from the newer movie. I'll say real quick that I did remove the Decepticon symbols. If you'd like to know how, this is how. This is just some Walmart no-name brand, but any isopropyl alcohol with a little bit of time. It took me about 3 minutes, I would say, for each Decepticon symbol that I wanted to remove. So it takes a little bit of elbow grease It's not an automatic thing. If you have a large painting area with lots of crevices, I just suggest kind of soaking the area or continuously applying. And it basically wipes off like nothing once it's been on there a while. Just to also compare him to a concept brother, if you will, I'm going to put in Alternity Silver Streak. You could see as far as size goes, the Alternity line is nowhere near the Alternator's line when it comes to size. So it's similar to the Alternator's line. You do have opening doors and trunks and hoods, and you got some seats in there. But it's not quite as detailed as you'd see in the Alternator's line. It is cool, however, to have a Japanese right side drive. That's kind of cool. You can see that with his steering wheel there. So that's alright, but as far as quality goes, I'm a little disappointed, but I think I'm just an unlucky person out of the bunch. I think if you want to go in and grab these, go for it. I know I'm missing the antenna. I got some paint scratches and so on, and my hood has a tough time. So that was a quick look at Banzaitron. I can't wholeheartedly recommend him to everybody. I think he is a unique vehicle. If you like your car formers, he's a real cool one to add in. I think he's better than the Seekers. I had some unfortunate luck with his quality, so I'm expecting that most people won't and will really enjoy this figure. However, I like I said, I can't recommend him to everybody. He's got a little too many holes in him to be worth $30 to $40. I'll get him out of here for a second and talk about what we'll do next week. I think next week we will have a look at a custom cliff jumper I did. He's pretty clear on how I did this, but I'm going to just do a couple quick videos showing you how to do some quick customs that really work out nice, and maybe eventually I'll get into some more complicated customs, like some ice cream truck guys with some rust on them that turned out pretty cool. So we'll look at that in a little bit. Hope you liked Banzaitron. He's questionable. I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. He really does kind of look like nothing you've ever had before, most likely. But you can see he's unpegging, all kinds of problems. Oh, God.